G'day and welcome, listeners, to the Deakin Uni AFNL Match of the Round. It is North Ringwood playing host to Beaconsfield here at Quamby Reserve. I'm joined alongside Jono Venn, who'll be calling his first match. How are you, mate?
Going very well, Trent. Good to see you. And today's going to be a very interesting day. 3v4, obviously final spots locked up, and Beaconsfield coming off a 1-point win as well. So look, anything's going to happen today, but excited for what's to come.
So 19's just about to wrap up here at Quamby Reserve, like we mentioned. Action-packed day ahead. We've got the seniors to do battle throughout the day. So if you're in the area, pop on down.
Yeah. Any notable players in the North Ringwood side, Trent?
None that I can think of off the top of my head.
Are you sure about that, mate?
No, I'll be pulling on the boots.
Hey, there we go. We finally got there.
And then probably swiftly heading back into retirement.
Oh, how many times have you retired?
A handful of times.
Goodness gracious me, we've got John Farnham over here. Amazing.
Anyway, speaking of, or not so much, but speaking of outs, we've got a couple listed today for both sides in Shannon Harris for North Ringwood, who is in fact their leading goal kicker. So who'll have to step up from a North Ringwood point of view?
Yeah, look, Nicola Koliavu comes into the side today for North Ringwood, and she's definitely a proven goal kicker from what I've seen at least. But also there's Carly Forbes there, top goal scorer as well, and hopefully she'll kick a few goals as well, Trent.
Yeah, looking forward to it. And then on the other side of the ledger, we've got Beaconsfield. So Malkin is also out from their point of view. She is, in fact, also the leading goal kicker. So we're missing two stars at either end of the ground, but I'm sure Courtney Robinson will step up, Jono.
Yes, indeed. Second top scorer for the year so far for the Eagles. And, of course, other forwards to look out for Lauren Hodgenacki and also Cassie Martin, who's a bit of an X-factor around the ground in midfield and also in the forward line.
Yeah, looking forward to watching her play today, certainly. Overcast conditions, it has to be said. There's blue skies trying to peer through the clouds, but hopefully that opens up as the day progresses.
I would say that, in the lead up to the don't know.
We'll focus back up here. We'll straighten up. Last time these two sides met was way back in round 17. It's flown by, hasn't it? We're already at the last round of the year.
Amazing.
Before we turn for home in the finals fixturing, but 3 points separated these two sides, Jono.
Yes, they did. It was 22-19, I believe, last time they met.
You got a good memory.
It was the Beaky. It's the Beaky home game as well, if I'm not mistaken.
That's the one.
And look, that's the thing. These two teams and their incredibly tight contested nature, this is going to go down to the wire. Now, of course, with the two teams locked up in the top four, as I said, North Ringwood have got the chance to get the 4 points, maybe get some forward momentum into the finals coming up. And of course, this very place we're at, Quamby Reserve, is a finals venue, along with Sylvan and of course H.E. Parker for the for some other divisions as well. But so it's a lot. For North Ringwood, it's a home ground advantage of the highest proportions, which is very important for them. So they'll hopefully register the 4 points. Of course, if you're a North Ringwood supporter or an official, and go on to next week and I guess be fit and firing.
So the umpires make their way out into the middle. you mentioned way back in round 7, North Ringwood didn't even need a home ground advantage on that occasion. They got the job done without requiring it, but they've got the chance at home here today to make it 2 on the trot, and that certainly have the bragging rights over Beaconsfield. So certainly looking forward to today's contest, and I'm sure it'll be quite enthralling as both sides just continue their warm-ups pre-game.
Go through their paces. Now, the interesting thing to note is not too long ago, I was an umpire, and I think it was in the 2019 season where Beaconsfield were in the Southeast Women's, and I was umpiring that game out at Mulgrave Reserve, which, of course, you might be able to guess the opposition team there. But that was interesting. It was absolutely pelting down. Luckily, we're not going to have any of that sort of weather today, and I'm sort of just outside the shade here. But we're going to see how that goes. I think we'll be all right. What do you reckon?
Yeah, I think we'll be fine here, as the toss has been won by, North Ringwood. It looks by looks of things.
Yep. So, yeah, North Ringwood have won the toss and will kick to the playground end / car park end of the ground here at Quamby Reserve. And 3 minutes to go. Who have we got, do you reckon, for tips?
As a way of tips, I'm going to back the underdogs. I think North Ringwood get the job done. I'm not sure they're much of an underdog, but
yeah, I don't think Ringwood, North Ringwood, are going into the game as underdogs. But
no,
I reckon Beaconsfield will definitely get very close. Who knows?
Yeah.
They might be able to win the game. At this stage, I'm neutral. I'll probably get back to you at halftime as prediction, but no, I think North Ringwood will win this by about a goal. I think, Trent.
Yeah, there's a fair chance a draw could be on the cards. I think.
Can we have extra time? No,
they're hard to separate these two sides, but
we'll have extra time next week at least.
Yeah, that's it. We'll find out anyway.
That's good. That's handy.
So players just making their way to positions now, slowly but surely. Final messages being relayed in the Beaconsfield huddle.
They've broken. So, yeah, it's a very calm and relaxed atmosphere here at Quamby Reserve, would you say?
Yeah, the crowd's building.
But all is pretty much in readiness. We might even be early.
Yep.
It's 10:38, 2 minutes to go to the actual start time. I think we might be on.
I'll let you take us away, Jono.
Let's do it then. The EFNL match of the round for the women's competition. The footy goes up and Beaconsfield are going to get the first hands through Hodge-Nackie. Footy goes to ground though. Ball in dispute. Can someone find the way out? It's going to be Beaconsfield though. Footy goes to ground again and North Ringwood are going to try and send it in. They do that just quite well. Forbes gets involved there, but Beaconsfield are going to come out through the outer side wing.
So Beaconsfield, Robinson's in pursuit. She's in a 1-on-1 foot race with Dean, and Dean wins out and shovels it forward. Trying to trap it there was Emery, and she can link up by hand with a 1-2. She just flicks it over the top to her teammate. Now there's a battle on at ground level, and winning that battle was Martin. Although she's turned it over in the process, and now North Ringwood can dump a dribbling ball inside forward 50. Beaconsfield have the numbers, and they can walk it out of defensive 50 and go through the corridor. So the shortest route to home they head. North Ringwood have the numbers at the fall, and they can win out through Rice. She just dumps a high one further afield, and wrapped up there might have been LaRocca there for Beaconsfield, and we'll have a stoppage on the wing.
So Bliss to do the rack work as I put the mic. That was an embarrassing moment there. Setting the ball forward for North Ringwood was Terrell. And then collecting it was Forbes again, who sends it inside. Umpire calls play on. And a shot on goal looks good. It's not. And it is going to be one behind. So the first score of the day for North Ringwood, one behind to no score.
Missed narrowly there. It was a hot chance. Failed to draw first blood, but it's the first blemish instead. So Robertson with the kick-out duties takes a bounce and she can head to the far wing. And flying high there was Lawrence. Taking a good mark on the juggle. She bites off the 45 now. Her teammates built the mark in Mirigliani. It's a bit of a mouthful.
That would be Mirigliani if you could try it.
She heads down the line. Thanks, Jono. Martin's there. Called her name a few times. She's been in the action. Ripped in a good tackle, and we'll have a ball up in front of the North Ringwood coach's box, Jono.
So we are indeed going to do just that, as the umpire couldn't really differentiate for last touch there, of course, as the rule stipulates. We're going to have another stoppage here directly in front of the scoreboard. Rucks nominate. We're going to do the all over again. Lawrence collects it at the 4, but we're going to have another ball up. Umpire quickly into action this time. The players wrapped up left, right, front, behind. We're going to go for another ball up in the exact same spot. Can one team get a clearance? Maybe not. And there was Ridley. And you gets it.
Good
another
tackle.
Ball up.
So Lawrence was the tackler there. As the Rucks will go at it again. It's a good battle on at ground level. They try and fight for it. And North Ringwood will win out here. They can dump a long one down the line. And standing in the path there might have been McCullum. So she can go high to centre half forward. Rhodes had her name written all over it. Takes a good chest mark. She can go lateral to her teammate in Dean. So the captain getting involved at half back. She was in two minds and just sat it on the head of LaRocca. And now the numbers come for Beaconsfield. Although Lawrence turns tackler again, a free kick's been picked out. So the two number twos battling at centre half back. So Rhodes sticks it into the path of her captain once more in Dean. So take two, they head down the wing again. Beaconsfield win out through Mirigliani. She just pops it inside 50 to a lead of number 30, who's not in our team sheet. They go to a hot spot now. So McCartan's there. She tries to tap it to her own advantage. Follows up with consecutive efforts. And now we'll have a stoppage. The umpire crosses his arms. Jono.
So, obviously, Beaconsfield had two late outs on account of sickness. So, it'll be interesting to see who the number 30 is, as North Ringwood send a high one into the centre square. Around the contest there is LaRocca. And Beaconsfield are going to send it in. Bouncing ball into open space. But, almost picking it up there was Smith. She's going to gather, though, and send it to the outer side. Ball just bounces along the ground. Can she pick it up there from the North Ringwood? Yes, she can, as they're going to send it outside 50 once again. To the wing it goes. And chasing it in there was Forbes. But ball just continuing to pepper away, but it's going to and fro in terms of possession. Umpires picked out a free kick, though. It's going to go the way of North Ringwood. They've got a chance just to settle things at the moment. Going across the ground into open space there. And picking the footy up was Rhodes. She has open space ahead of her. Can she find a teammate? No, she can't, as Lucas manages to pick up the footy. The ball heads to ground in dispute. There's a bit of a rugby maul happening. Umpire crosses himself and says, I'll have the footy about 55 metres out from North Ringwood's goal.
Yeah, 55 out, the way of the home side here. Builds to ground level once more, and bodies just pile on with Gilmore on the bottom of it. So we'll have another stoppage. Same spot. That grass getting worn out. Leading the race there is Martin. She tries to gather. and a fumble invites the North Ringwood pressure. So still 60 out from home. Centre half forward, the way of the Saints. As collecting here is Lawrence. She can head on the 45 to a 1-on-1 contest. Winning out there is Rhodes if she can gather cleanly. She does, and then
Great
fends
work.
off. Fends off McRae, it might have been. So her teammate now in Forbes can try and weave through traffic and dump a long one to the hot spot. At ground level, there's Gilmore. Can she feed it out? She can. Rather unorthodox. And then dumping a long one off hands of McRae. She turns tackler on Rhodes now. And they can link up Rhodes again in the action. Although sort of a rush ball forward, she'll turn it over. So Beaconsfield connects it now, Jono.
Indeed, down the wing they go as a pack forms. Mark was almost taken by the North Ringwood player, but can Beaconsfield come out with it? Oh, gee, it didn't look like a handball there, but play continues nonetheless. And sending it inside 50 was the number 9, who don't think we have on our team sheet again, but that's okay. Try and get that fixed at quarter time. So down the Beaconsfield end of the ground, though, but North Ringwood are going to collect through Rice, sending one up and down. Rhodes has got it once again after she looked to offload and couldn't quite. But here come Beaconsfield, just on the edge of the centre square as North Ringwood immediately halt any momentum. But it still goes inside 50 for Beaconsfield. Now they're a chance here. Getting the ball is Peacock. Having a shot on goal. It's going to go wide, though, and into the hands of the North Ringwood player. And by the way, got my teams mixed up. It was actually Martin sending it, having a shot on goal. And it's the opposite number 11, Peacock, to take the footy.
So Peacock, she just runs it out of defensive 50. We'll send a long one. Going back with a flight there was Hodgenacki. Hope I pronounced that right. It was a good mark nonetheless. She goes inboard now. Good peripheral vision. The way of Lawrence, who can stroll inside 50. No one guarded her. But it was an errant kick forward, and it'll find the way to its line as Jono's lost his team sheet.
Oh, dear.
Away in the wind.
Might as well hold on to it, I reckon. And it's interesting you called me Jared, but I don't look anything like the great man Jared Beanland, who you called with last week, of course, on the EFNL Match of the Day. Play restarts here. It's at the top of Beaconsfield's 50. Can they come out with it, though? Oh, no. Oh, clever little offload, though, from the Beaconsfield player. In there as well was Mirigliani once again. They send it to halfway on the 50. Footy goes to ground, and North Ringwood look to come out with it. Or do they, as Beaconsfield have the numbers? McRae sends it and centres it. But Chloe Rice has the footy, and she's just going to load up and clear the football out of the defensive 50. Almost collecting it was LaRocca. Footy goes to ground. The Beaky player dived on it. The umpire says nothing doing, and we'll have a ball up just on the edge of the centre square.
So it's their last entry, isn't it? Beaconsfield really killing them at the moment. That forward half connection. Sorry about that Jared call. that's just bad habits creeping in.
I'd love to be as a good as good of a caller as as the great man Jared.
I'm sure he's listening. So Hodgenacki palms it down the throat of Martin. She can follow off at ground level, work into heaps of space, and then send it to the centre half forward. North Ringwood try and trap it. They cough it up in the process. Robertson getting involved. She can send a long one, sort of barrel style, dribbling inside 50. There at ground level's number 30. She tries to balk her way clear and send it straight through the middle. So she just stepped through traffic with ease. And number 30, not on our team sheet. It's disappointing because it almost ruined a good moment there.
So there you go, eh? We've got the first goal on the board. I'm going to try and figure out who that number 30 is, of course, for the Beaconsfield.
Thank you.
This play's about to restart here. In the centre of Quamby Reserve, it's North Ringwood 1 behind to Beaconsfield 1 straight. How many minutes gone? It looks to be just over at 11 and a half. So back in the centre of the ground. Rucks go to work. Ball up perhaps a minute. Oh, but coming out of it nicely was Cooper. Not nice enough, though, as it was holding the football. And Beaconsfield going to send one through the centre of the ground. Bouncing footy. The collect was Smith to send it back from whence it came. Beaconsfield, though, cutting it off through, I believe that was Lawrence. Sending a high one to a teammate who couldn't quite take the mark. Pushing her opponent off was Smith as North Ringwood seems to find a way out through McInerney. Or do they? She was tackled. They might be on here through Matchich, who gets it off to Rhodes. Bouncing footy along the ground. They're inside 50, though. Got open space ahead of them. It's the 25 and 21. The foot race, but then the 25 collects the footy. That 25, of course, Forbes, who has kicked a goal, I believe. Yes, she has. And that was probably that commentary probably didn't do it justice, but there we have it, and North Ringwood respond.
It's a tough gig searching for numbers and names, but Forbes, she piles on North Ringwood's first, matching a good goal at the other end, almost bettering it. It was a tumble punt that just sailed through from distance, and they take the early lead here as we tick closer to the 6-minute mark. Rhodes will get the clearance forward now for North Ringwood as they look to build on their ascendancy. There's a fight on at ground level with Marigliani getting involved. Well, it's coughed up now in the hands of North Ringwood, and they can dump a long one. Might be Forbes again. Looking for two in a minute. Carly Forbes.
It is indeed.
With her partner in crime, Shannon Harris, out. She looks to step up. Not on this occasion, looks to drift off target. And it'll be rushed through in the end, it might have been. So North Ringwood travelled to 1-2-8, playing Beaconsfield just to one straight.
So the behind conceded, and Beaconsfield are going to come on broadcast wing. Flying high there was Rice. She couldn't quite take the mark, but North Ringwood are still on here again. Forbes sends one to the top of the goal square. Players circling left, right, front, behind, but umpire will signal all clear. One behind, another behind conceded, and we're going to do it all again.
So with the kick-out duties, Marigliani, by the looks of things, she can dump a long one. It's off the hands of Cooper. And North Ringwood can go to work at ground level. Slung in the tackle there. And a 360 might have been paid here. So the way of McCullum. Good tackle laid there. Flying high. But to no avail there was Emery. They can go to work now at ground level. So drive a low one inside 50. There's number 30 on screen again, although winning out there was Ridley. She can just tumble it outside 50 on the outer wing side. And there's numbers at the fall. No one real brave enough to pick it up, although Martin proves me wrong. And now Beaconsfield could head inside 50, although it's only as far as Smith, who's been a wall back there for North Ringwood.
So Carly Smith to reload here, but lowers the eyes, and Cooper takes the easiest of marks. Kicks inboard. Finds a teammate there who's quick to move on. And then out in the 45 and got open space ahead of her is Rhodes, who then falls into a bit of a trap. 1-2s with a teammate. Kicks to a one-on-one contest. Teammate almost took the mark. That teammate, of course, Forbes. Footy goes to ground, but umpire has called it the way of Beaconsfield, and the Eagles are going to centre the football high up and under. Just results in the single mark, and Beaconsfield are on the way here.
So Beaconsfield now through Emery can drive it inside 50. Leading that race for the footies, Robertson, as we just fix up a couple of names and numbers on the team sheet.
I'll take it from you if you want. So,
Jono, thank you.
Inside the centre circle, it's going to be sent from back from whence it came through. Hodgenacki, bouncing footy, and Koliavu, or maybe not, is going to send it directly towards us, directly in front of me. Am I going to get a touch? No. Is it going to go out of bounds? Yes, it is. And very close to the fence, of course. And LaRocca sees it over. We're going to have a ball up.
It's about as close as I'll get over the next couple of hours as well, playing later today. So they can dribble it inside 50
Don't throw
now.
yourself under the bus. It's poor form.
Through, the kick smothered there. It was Harris trying to gain distance by foot, picking it up there. Right in front of us is Taylor. So we've got a good view of proceedings here. Spinning out with a good kick forward, Miragalani. I'm going to have trouble with that every single time. So the marks dropped there by Forbes. She's been in the action early here. One of North Ringwood's best. So she dubs a long one now to the advantage of Vaughan, who can try and battle for it at ground level with McCullum harassing her. It's a good one-on-one contest. We'll call it a draw.
The footy bounced at right angles, which didn't help North Ringwood, that's for sure. Footy goes up. And at the forward, it was Harris there. But Beaconsfield might look to come out with it. LaRocca just left the contest behind as North Ringwood try and get ahead through Sarah Hum, who featured in the Team of the Week last week. And we're going to have another ball up here. Centre wing, broadcast side. Plenty of ball ups today ahead, that's for sure. Harris gets the tap down, but it's going to be footy's going to go in the way of Beaconsfield. But McInerney looks to send it back from whence it came. And a stray boot from the Beaconsfield player results in a turnover, and Ella Rhodes has got it.
So Rhodes with the last possession rule. She tight-roped the boundary line with her kick down the line, and it was fisted over. So we tick under 60 seconds to play out here. Still time for a score. It's tapped the way of North Ringwood through the ruckman in Harris. You could throw a blanket over 20 of them. Broadcast side here. Just repeating, North Ringwood 9, playing Beaconsfield 6 here. So goals from Forbes and Metcalf it was.
Final 30 seconds here at Combi Reserve in the first term. Footy goes to the edge of the square. Looks to be all Beaconsfield at the moment. They got the numbers around the contest, but cutting the footy off Harris. Setting it down North Ringwood's way. And collecting the balls, McCallum, who wants to send it back from whence it came to LaRocca, who takes a great mark, but the clock might probably beat them. It does indeed. The siren sounds, and that is quarter time here at Quamby Reserve for the EFNL match of the day. North Ringwood 1-3-9 leading Beaconsfield 1 straight 6. John O'Ven and Trent Callan with you.
Yeah, so it's been a game of momentum swings, hasn't it, to start this early term. We've had the goal kickers just repeating again. We've fixed up that number 30 for Beaconsfield in Laurie Metcalf, the sole goal scorer for Beaky. And then on the North Ringwood side of things, we've had Carly Forbes. So we mentioned her having big shoes to fill with her partner in crime, Shannon Harris, the leading goal kicker, out. So we'll see what eventuates as we'll take a short break and we'll be back on the other side of this.
Yes, because that's the way we need to do it. That's the way it operates. Yeah, exactly, mate. I think there's a chance I might have. I hear I might be given the division for the grand final. Along with all the grand announcing, I need to do 4 games at HG Park and make 15 for a grand final series. It's going to be massive. Oh dear. No. You've got the craft down that in terms of chemistry and how we operate, which is great. I can't fault it at all. We're going to get a touch. Don't throw yourself under the bus. Mate, I've got an icon part on the boundary. I put in the golden fist. And I told the boys as well. They all went, yes! Brilliant! It's the EFL Women's Match of the Day. Just like the band logo. Hates it. Oh man. Since Tuesday, that's not a joke. I'm actually on. It's full. It's going to I just got yeah, sure. And welcome back to Cornby Reserve. It's the EFNL Women's Match of the Day, thanks to Deakin University. And it's North Ringwood and Beaconsfield doing battle. North Ringwood 139 to Beaconsfield 1 straight 6 here at quarter time. Jonovan and Trent Cullen with you. As you said off air, it's a great start to the game, Trent.
It is. Sorry, I'll just unmute myself there.
I'll unmute you more like.
Yeah. No, I've certainly enjoyed what I've seen so far. Still early, but there's North Ringwood. They've got the three blemishes to their name. I'm just hoping that poor King doesn't come back to bite them. They got lucky in round 7 with 4 behinds, and they narrowly beat Beaconsfield on that occasion. But yeah, we'll see how we go.
So probably the highlight for Beaconsfield that quarter was obviously Metcalf's goal, who we didn't manage to call. To get us under the way for the second quarter, Trent Cullen, let's do it.
So here we go. It's tossed high once more. Leading the race there at ground level was Ridley. She can't paddle it to her own advantage, and trying to spin out there was Bliss. The ball just bubbling about off hands now. North Ringwood will try and recover. They dump a long one. King to the left of the screen now. They fight for it at ground level. Trying to burst clear was one of the forwards for North Ringwood, and then dumped in a good tackle there. Was 34 for North Ringwood. So 2 rucks go at it again. They try and burst clear. One of the North Ringwood midfielders, might have been Ridley. She sends it inside 50. The ball will evade all comers. It's tapped just into space rather by Deakin, one of the sponsors. So the ball's in dispute now. We'll have a ball up.
A very famous name, Deakin, that's for sure, in Australian history as well. So footy goes up. Footy comes down. Beaconsfield with a little hat kick off the ground, but it's all North Ringwood at the moment. Twisting and turning was McInerney, sending one forward, but then immediately cut off.
His sound isn't coming through.
So Hum sends one to the top of the square, bounces, but cutting it off there was Hartfield. Hartfield sends it across, looking for Ferguson, but she juggles, and North Ringwood and successfully got the turnover and dumped in the back, though.
It sounds not working. So the ball now in pursuit on the far wings, Hodgenacki. She tries to just balk her way clear, and the umpire's quick to whistle. So we're just having some technical difficulties here with the sound. As the ball's headed now inside forward 50. It's a 1-on-1 race. Beaconsfield are trapped in a good tackle there, so we've lost the plot a little bit. We might have Jono back here.
Yes, we do indeed. So, going to get things restarted here. Umpire does a magnificent holding the ball signal. And North Ringwood, you'd reckon they're going to have a shot on goal. So, up and under, missed both players, but collecting the footy was Deakin. She's been involved a fair bit so far in this game. Footy goes to ground, though. North Ringwood player gets buried, and we're going to have another restart. Do just that. Harris in the ruck as always, and the footy goes to ground, and another footy in dispute. We're going to have yet another ball up.
Yep, so the umpires earning their keep today, that's for sure. It's tapped down the throat of Ridley, who tries to just burst clear. She's on the run now and can send it to a hot spot, 20 out. They try and wrestle for position. Front spot is Ridley getting involved once more. She followed up her good work and slots through North Ringwood's second of the day. Kate Ridley, take a bow.
They jump ahead.
Nice little buff up.
Indeed. So they jump ahead, and they'd be very happy with that in the scheme of things, especially in regards to the conditions. And well, here we go. I reckon things are shaping up to be a very interesting second quarter. Can Beaconsfield respond though? I mean, they've got the run. They've got the run of the play. They just drop short occasionally. Rucks go to work. And bursting out of the pack there was Lawrence, who lost the footy. Can she gain possession again? She sort of can, as she sends a little dinky one off the ground. LaRocca also getting involved there for the Eagles, but another ball up, just about probably 70 out from Beaconsfield's goal. Harris gets the tap down into open space. Almost picking it up was Merigliani. As players trying to find a clear way to get possession. Pushed out of it was Ridley, the X factor today, and then a few players get wrapped up. I'm going to have another ball up.
So it'll be Harris.
Out of zone free kick, I think.
We might just do it all again.
Interesting. So that was weird.
The two will nominate again. Harris. She sort of slaps it into the path of Beaconsfield numbers. She has to follow up a long way down at ground level for the ruckman. And now Beaconsfield, they try and work in a phone box and get it to Ferguson on the outside. She's wrapped up by Taylor. Sort of synthetic pitch area. 60 out from home. So Harris once more slaps it into the advantage of her teammate, 34. Harris once more. So seem to be calling her name a lot today as the ball's just bubbling about now. Harris again off one step. Can send him inside 50. She read that well, didn't she? Number 11.
Peacock.
In Peacock, and slaps it forward, although it's off target.
Oh, gee, that's unfortunate,
So
isn't
an anti-climax there.
Just had the run of the footy. Probably had the open space as well, didn't she? So an opportunity miss.
All roads leaded to home, but she was just unable to capitalise as there's a bit of a wrestle at ground level.
Downfield, and
Lawrence
that
getting involved.
That North Ringwood player is down. Now, this is interesting. So, Sarah Hum, of course, is it's down in this. It was down just on the edge of the 50, and free kick has been awarded.
And she's been walked 10 metres, so
Yeah, this. So set kick control's been done, and she'll have a shot on goal. Looks good as the wind sort of goes against her, but then marking it right on the line as that Beaconsfield player, and it's a great one too, as the North Ringwood player probably needs to come back a little bit. The kick's good out to Hodgenacki. Assesses her options, goes down the line directly in front of us, and cleverly slapped over the line by McInerney. We'll see a ball up directly in front of us on broadcast side.
that was interesting, wasn't it? At centre half forward, didn't quite catch what happened as Hodgenacki rises. LaRocca getting involved there, and then the basketball bounce was the North Ringwood player as she's dumped over the line. McInerney.
I hesitate to say, do you reckon she's got a basketball background?
Scott Pendlebury like, so
And
there's
everybody
Rhodes
else.
now.
Oh,
And McInerney getting involved once more as they
That was
tightrope the boundary line.
that was out.
Was out of bounds by the sounds of it.
Indeed.
So there's Hum. She's back to her feet. It's a good sign. She dumps them inside 50 now. North Ringwood with a good chance through number 34.
Over
Another
the
one
back.
not in our team sheet. Seems a common occurrence, isn't it? The goal kicker for North Ringwood there. A name escapes us here. But they pile on North Ringwood's third, and it's almost alarm bells ringing for Beaconsfield here. They're in trouble, Jono.
They are indeed, and well, I might have expected this in some ways because, well, North Ringwood they do have a fairly big percentage, don't they, above the rest. So, and percentage has certainly been a factor this season as we get a restart. We have a little hack kick off the ground. Looks all right as North Ringwood look to advance. Do just that, and then at the 4, the ball perfectly was Gilmore.
It was gutsy.
And then the 25 metre, the 10 metre protected area was infringed with twice. But the shot's on to the top of the square. No one can take the mark. Players circling and umpire circling as well. We'll probably just call it dead. Ball up right at the top of the goal square of North Ringwood's end. Rucks are going to do the work very quickly. Harris got the second tap off the ground. Second tap in the air, rather. Someone tried to get it out, but looks to be Beaconsfield to clear things to the near side, directly in front of us. Others perfectly sends a high one, but then Ringwood at the sit, and it's McInerney.
So McInerney now. She's got Rhodes in support. She can send them inside 50 almost on the fringe of the arc. They've got numbers at ground level. There's number 34 again. Her kick forward was smothered. It'll invite Beaconsfield to go to work, although bumped off the kick there was Marigliani. She's earned herself a free kick. Right half back, so she steps her marker and then can go down the line. It bounces off the chest of Rhodes. She juggles it, and she's off to the races now. So she can head inside forward 50 there. But standing in the path was Robertson for Beaconsfield, standing tall, standing strong. So she's quick now. She's just walked
Great
into trouble
spotter.
there. Bounced at the wrong time and then just sort of a rush ball outside 50 now. Beaconsfield defending grimly at the moment. The North Ringwood pressure on display once more. It's been off the charts, Jono.
Absolutely, it has, and they're going to be rewarded once again. Send it to the top of their 50. And a great mark taken by Harris. She's got the distance from here, but she elects to lower the eyes to the top of the square and then immediately having the sit as her teammate. Marked it perfectly. And she'll have a shot on from directly in front. That teammate, of course, Sarah Hum. in the Team of the Week last week. She makes no mistake of it. And North Ringwood have another. North Ringwood 4-4-28 to Beaconsfield. 1 straight 6.
Must be a big 3 or 4 goal breeze heading to the left of screen.
You can sort of feel it, can't you?
But Hum there, like you mentioned, she was in fact the passer at centre half 50, centre half forward, sorry, and then did the work and just sat in the hole, didn't she? So
yeah,
she piles on North Ringwood's 4th, and it is alarm bells ringing at the moment for Beaconsfield as they look to get the clearance here as they try and link up with a chain of handballs. LaRocca's there, unable to claim it at ground level. And then North Ringwood can just go down the line, taking a good mark. She had the height advantage there, didn't she? Might have been Koliavu.
No, it's not. Number
Lucas,
27, that would be Lucas.
So that was just a stab in the dark, and I've completely
As a matter of fact, you can see Koliavu just to the right there. She's going to take the ruck, or not. She's going to rove it. It's in there. And then she gets the footy, Koliavu. There we go. So
just crystal balled that.
Absolutely. I'm no good at fortune telling, just putting it out there. Umpire has paid a particular decision. It looks to be in the way of North Ringwood, and they'll come in, or is it? Yes, it is. So North Ringwood inside 50 and the easiest of marks taken by Melissa Gilmore. Sends it forward once again, but missed the intended target. Intended target, though, in Forbes. Tried to collect, couldn't quite. Footy in dispute. Beaconsfield player tackled. Still advancing forward, though, North Ringwood, although not quite as the umpire will ball it up.
I'd be keeping an eye on Forbes here. Look to exit when all the 15
At the full of it was Ridley. They send it in. Collecting it was Terrell, the goal scorer. Sending it off to a teammate who then pitches it wide. It's still in play. Can you believe that? Or no, it's not. Now that's interesting.
That's the North Ringwood goal umpire, Beaconsfield goal umpire, I'm assuming.
That's interesting because probably would have expected him to call it, but then it was left up to the field umpire who was 25 metres away.
So Robinson now sort of barrels it out of defensive 50. It'll sit on the arc now. We'll have a ball up. So with a chance to pile on their sixth of the quarter for North Ringwood. They slap it inside 50 once more. Leading the race there is Deakin. So another shout out to one of our sponsors there once more as we tick under the 90-second mark here at Quamby Reserve.
It's Deakin University senior women's footy. The match of the round. Play restarts and umpires picked out a free kick. It's going to go the way of Beaconsfield by the looks of things. Yes, it is. And Madison Lawrence will have the footy. Find a target easily. They move it on the outer side of the ground. Fair contest forming, though. And Beaconsfield have got the chance here to get one. North Ringwood at the fall of it. They're going to send things back from whence it came. The outer side of the ground now becomes the centre of the ground. They're moving through quite well. LaRocca is trying to put in the defensive effort for Beaconsfield. And then a few players are wrapped up left, right, front, behind. Ball up. Restart. Taking the chest mark was the ruck there. But it's in North Ringwood's 50 at the moment. Merigliani trying to find a way out, but it's all North Ringwood at the moment. Terrell trying to find a way. She's been caught, though, and Beaconsfield will rebound. As the siren sounds. There you go. Can't really see the clock from my, I guess poor vision sometimes, but it is a very small thing. Nevertheless, it's halftime, Trent.
So North Ringwood, just repeating, 6-5-41, playing Beaconsfield, just the one straight, scoreless, kept scoreless that term. And didn't the home side just pile it on? So they've jumped clear to a pretty commanding lead, and they'll be hard to catch from here, Jono.
Yes, they will be. And as the weather, in some ways, feels a lot better at the moment than it was at the start of the game. So North Ringwood can take advantage of decent conditions. But maybe Beaconsfield can a late challenge with the wind in the third and try and take them and catch them off.
Yeah, well, there'll be plenty of talking points, I'm sure, at the main break. So the Beaconsfield coach certainly got his hands full. He'll address his group and sort of target the problem areas, and there were a fair few of them that had to be said in that term. That'll just about do us here. And we'll be back on the other side of this with the second half of women's footy.
Welcome back. The EFL Women's Match of the Day. It's North Ringwood and Beaconsfield here at Quamby Reserve. Of course, one of the finals venues for the upcoming Deakin University Women's Finals Series. It's going to be an exciting finals series for sure. And of course, two of those teams that will be in the final series we're seeing here today, the Saints and the Eagles. It's North Ringwood 6-5-41, leading Beaconsfield 1 straight 6. John O'Ven and Trent. And we were talking off air to notice that there's a few storm clouds gathering, and I've been to reverse moz, and people are saying it's all your fault if you if
You've
things
jinxed us badly.
Let's hope not, because the conditions are still pretty good by my standards at least, and hopefully it's looking brilliant for your eyes. Because at home or abroad, where it's on Facebook and YouTube, Trent, can Beaconsfield respond?
Tell you what, it's an uphill battle, but they've had some, I'm sure, a step two. I would have loved to have been a fly on the wall in those change rooms, listening to what their coach had to say. As players just head to positions here, we're set to get underway for the second half.
Indeed. So let's get things underway as the 5-6-5 is checked, and we're going to start the second half here at Quamby Reserve for the EFNL Match of the Day, the Women's Match of the Day, of course. And it's all North Ringwood at the start of the contest. Ryan's at inside 50. And then she still managed to get it back, though. Does Rhodes as a free kick is paid.
Wilkinson was met heavily there, front on.
So it's probably going to go the other way then, isn't it? And you'd imagine that perhaps they might come down broadcast side, but play is halted for the moment. And a double whistle hasn't come yet as the trainers come. Of course, the double whistle signifies that the clock will stop, but we haven't heard that yet. Beaconsfield player is cleared out of the contest and will get a restart quicker than first thought. Of course, Wilkinson, that player. Short-term memory loss potentially gets the better of me sometimes, Trent. Yeah, we love throwing each other under the bus on this call, don't we?
No, it's good to see her running off now.
Good song. So get a restart. Footy goes up. Harris just missed the tap down there. Road. The then that shoved in. It's going to get the free kick because the other the wrong way. Trying to quite take them though, but right behind on set for another to change bench.
So it's by once again for Harris to go. She follow up the ground loop and the scramble out. That's smothered as they just work it. She's thrown now. There was the captain in Dean. Just slung off it. As the fight continues at ground level now, and a hack kick out of there was Jessie Deakin. Lands in the lap of Rhodes. So all Rhodes lead down the line with her ball. They can go laterally to Hum. She was set a difficult task at ground level. Ridley getting involved now. Is trying to appeal for the free kick there was Lawrence to no avail. And then a rush ball forward was smothered. So the ball's still in dispute at the moment. Rhodes once more back to Hum now. Play's broken up now as they drive it inside forward 50 now. slapped into the advantage of a leading forward. There's Forbes going to work. Off one step, was off balance and off target.
Bounce. Errant bounce, unfortunately. But another behind and another score to North Ringwood to come down the out. Kick to a contest is Ridley takes the mark. Kicks a bit skew as Beaconsfield might be able to make something of this. They've got the numbers and open space. Lawrence has the footy now. But turns it over to -1 on the opposition. Smith, who sends it back from whence it came to open space once again. Gilmore's chasing. The footy moves to the outer side wing. Still a chance to move it in North Ringwood, but it's going to and fro the Sharon. And North Ringwood, though, they're going to find a way inside 50. And this will be the easiest of goals for the Saints. They score another one. And that is North Ringwood 7-6-48. Beaconsfield 1 straight 6. Here's Trent Callan.
So Forbes it was with the second of her day. She made a meal of the celebration there with the high five, not going to plan, but the kick did, and that's all that matters. So
Indeed.
they just extend their lead and just continue where they left off here in this third term. They travel to 7-6-48 with Beaconsfield, still just the 1 straight 6. So they can get the clearance here and try to build on something forward through Lawrence. It's off hands at ground level now. There's a fight on through Rhodes. She'll try and link up by hand. She does that well. Just pops it over the top to Terrell now. So she tries to just walk through traffic. Can link up with the ruckman in Harris, who dribbles it 15 to the ladder goal kicker in Forbes. With a tumble punt inside 50 now. So the race is on with Kane. First sighting of her today. Her handball inboard. Beaconsfield have the numbers at ground level. And wrapped up there was Martin. I liked her game today, and she's earned a free kick in the process.
So here they come, Beaconsfield, and Lawrence, who's been lurking around the play all day, gathers the footy and then almost turn it over. Beaconsfield try and find a way out through Hodgenacki. Down the left side of the field, down their end now. In open space, though, North Ringwood have the numbers. And then Rhodes is dumped. It is holding the footy. A great tackle, though. Beaconsfield are going to have a shot on. 45-degree angle. It's Metcalf. The sneak player. Smallest player in the team and probably indeed on the ground too. So
she's been marched to the square.
She has indeed. A 25-metre penalty being given. Do we have any idea what it was for?
Might have just overstepped the mark. That's just a guess.
Perhaps. So here's Metcalf. She lines up and it is a perfect kick to the tree end of the ground. And they have indeed responded.
There's trees at either end, but
we'll say, well, I'm saying this. No, we'll say it's the hill end of the ground. How about that?
I get what you mean.
Trees, car parks, hills. That this place is surrounded by it.
Nonetheless, Beaconsfield have their second.
Indeed, as I was saying. So 2 straight 12. And North Ringwood 7-6-48. 7.5 minutes gone. Third term.
So Metcalf, the solo goal kicker with a pair to end aim. And Martin now can gain the clearance forward. She can link up with Hodgenacki, who drives a high up and under to the aforementioned. Ridley now can run out of defensive 50s on the outer wing. She was ignoring pass by hand. They go aboard instead to McInerney. So McInerney has it now. centre half back. She asks for a teammate to present and then does her no favours putting it at her feet. So Cooper there, she collected it well, although turned it over in the process. So Lawrence can link up with a 1-2. Instead, Martin getting involved on the far wing side. She was too quick for her own good and ran past it in the end. So outer wing side now, the ball just pinballing around, back and forth. It's slapped into the advantage of a Beaconsfield midfielder, La Rocca, putting her head in the hole. And as it crosses the synthetic pitch, we'll have a ball up, Jono.
So in the centre of the ground here, Koliavu gets the tap down. And North Ringwood will advance. You would reckon. Ball just tumbling along the ground. Did you pick it up? That played, reckon. Seeing it inside 50, though. Still along the ground. Footy in dispute. Beaconsfield trying to come out with it. And it's going to and fro. Seems to be the order of the day. Footy's still going along the ground. It's two Beaconsfield players. Neither of them seem to pick the footy up. And coming out with it, rather, was Hodgenacki, sending it inside 50. Over the back, Parisi couldn't quite get the footy. And North Ringwood will come out with it. To the boundary line, the footy goes. North Ringwood still managed to keep the footy alive on opposite broadcast side. They're going to centre the ball, and things might get a little bit easier. I spoke too soon as Peacock has work cut out for her, tries to chase and still gathers the footy quite well. A handball over the top to a teammate. It's unsuccessful. That teammate, of course, is Koliavu. She has to wrap up her opponent and slams her down to ground, probably in frustration that she couldn't grab the footy. And here's another ball up.
So they can test once more in the ruck as bodies go to ground and a hack kick forward. The race is on. Presenting well there was Rice. Although Metcalf getting involved again, she'll try and step her mark up. She's got company in the form of a running winger for Beaconsfield, and then Smith can collect at ground level, so she does that well and just exits defensive 50 with a grubby sort of ball with Martin in best position to claim it, and she turns tackler on an opposition player.
The wind's picked up here at Quamby Reserve, and we'll get another restart. Players fly, and a free kick has been paid in favour of the Eagles.
Jeez,
really see the signal
there was
there.
Advantage there.
So play stops, and we'll bring it back. Umpire taps his partner through as he has a sense of what's coming. Inside 50 now for the Eagles. Cut off strongly by the North Ringwood Saint there. Got a chance to regroup. They come to broadcast side this time. Great looking kick. Find the intended target. Beaconsfield got a fair bit of work to do here to try and get it back in to the top of the square. Falls for no one in particular. Can they get another goal here, the Eagles? Maybe they can through the number 21, that's Emery, who juggled the footy and then couldn't get possession. Another ball up just on the 45, about 17 from the Eagles' goal.
There's some feeling creeping into this one. There's Metcalf again, working in traffic. Sends a flying shot off target, and it'll be their first blemish of the morning here at Quamby Reserve. So the kick-out duties lie with Rice for North Ringwood, and they can head on the outer wing side. It's off the hands of Hum. It'll invite Beaconsfield, who had Crummers at ground level, to go to work. They can send it inside 50. Metcalf again tries to lock it inside 50, although the rush ball will find the chest of Lawrence, who's confident.
She had to sit perfectly, and to be honest, I'd be confident if I were her too.
So working high up the ground, she's got an option in Metcalf. Heads in that direction. She spilt the mark. It mightn't have been the best option.
Hardly any metres gained. In fact, they've gone backwards.
Here's Hodgenacki now. bumped as she kicked, sort of dragged down. There's all sorts of pushing on display at the moment. There's Martin working high up the ground again. Bodies are just crashing in and piling on. The Beaconsfield pressure's certainly lifted, although illegally shoved out there was one of the North Ringwood defenders in Rice, and she'll earn a free kick. Although, no, there we go. So Rice has it now.
So she will kick it on the outer side. High up and under kick. Here's a turnover, and Beaconsfield will bring it back inside their forward 50. Send it back from whence it came. They do just that. Metcalf almost had the sit, couldn't quite drop it. Couldn't quite take the mark, rather. She dropped it. North Ringwood send one directly towards us. Rolling, rolling, rolling. Sharon. LaRocca has it. It's the hand pass up. And then Deakin was met by a strong tackle. And the free kick will go the way of North Ringwood, presumably for holding the ball. So Peacock dodges her opponent very nicely. Gets a short kick down the line to Lucas. And Lucas sends one high to a contest, and then taking almost a strong grab there was that North Ringwood player. That was, and the ball fell for Rice, but she couldn't take the mark. Nevertheless, she's still going to gather, get it off to a teammate very cleverly. Bouncing ball, open space. LaRocca was infringed with, and that would be a free kick for holding. And LaRocca has to move on quickly to a contest. Intended teammate couldn't quite take the mark. And then she still gathers, and that is a great super goal from Lauren Hodgenacki. Well, how about that? That's probably goal of the day for mine.
Beaconsfield making inroads here, and it was LaRocca. She drew the free kick well by putting her head in the hole. She's small in stature, it has to be said, but she has a big heart.
Well said, I reckon.
Led to that Hodgenacki goal.
She's definitely had a sense of urgency because she was calling to her teammate in Madison Lawrence, just saying, give me the ball, quick, quick, quick. And to be honest, time was of the essence there. We're ticking down towards 4 minutes to go in the third term.
So Beaconsfield, can they pile on another hit? North Ringwood will get the clearance forward. Their first real look inside 50 lands with Dane, the captain. Her dribble kick forward. Geez, it evaded all comers and just collided into the post. So Sharon can play tricks at times.
Can indeed.
As Beaconsfield will look to try and exit now. Through one of the defenders, they head outer wing side. It lands in the lap of Martin. And she's quick to play on. So sensing the urgency once more, with time expiring, she drills a low one into her teammate Ferguson. Wave of numbers streaming forward for Beaconsfield. The kick favoured no one in particular. Rice got her hands full. With Sharon in hand as well, as she dribbles it sort of 40 out from home.
It's 40 out from home. They are indeed. Ball comes up, ball comes down. Harris tried to get the second touch. Ball is sent forward, but misses everything. And North Ringwood will reload after McCartan jumps the fence and is going to bring it in.
She can milk every second here.
She certainly can, but there's still a lot of time to go for sure. She's got it off to a teammate, and she'll bring it in and restart the play. So she does that, but then cutting it off perfectly. It was Maddie Lawrence, and she'll have a shot 45-degree angle, probably, I'd say 20 out. She just was placed at the right right place, right time. She'll send one to the top of the square. Can someone get a mark? No, they can't. They're going to get a clearance, you'd reckon, North Ringwood. But then who? Guess who? Lawrence once again takes a grab. She's got a second shot at this. She sends one that's got the distance, but it's cut off immediately by North Ringwood again. Footy goes to ground. Players circling. And just moving it along like a rugby maul, but the umpire says we'll have a ball up. Nothing doing.
So close to a minute left to play out here in this third term. Another one will certainly scare this home side, leave them with something to think about at the last break as they go forward once more to Beaconsfield. North Ringwood have the numbers and a dangerous ball. Can LaRocca get involved? She sends a barrel forward and it collides into the
indeed.
post.
Oh, dear.
So
It was a good-looking barrel too.
the biggest of anticlimaxes lands with a flying shot from LaRocca.
After one earlier today. Gee, that's tough. So Rice moves on very quickly, sends one to the broadcast side, finds the intended target in Ella Rhodes. As LaRocca stands the mark. Drop one short. Did Rhodes to her teammate who assesses her options. Got the contest going down the line, kicks there, and Rigliani spills it over the line and will have a ball up directly in front of us. A perfect angle for the camera, that has to be said. But the siren sounds to end the third quarter. It's North Ringwood by 29 points, 7-7-49 to Beaconsfield 3-20. Trent Cowan.
Not sure what to make of that. Beaconsfield certainly did their best to draw back the margin. The deficit still stands at 29.
I certainly felt like they did what they could with the wind, right? So the fourth quarter is all about North Ringwood asserting their dominance. And because they've got a fairly strong breeze, which has remained consistent throughout the day. And it'll be an interesting last quarter for sure. But I think for what Beaconsfield could do, they did pretty well. And Madison Lawrence just had the sit at every available opportunity. She's been fantastic today for the Eagles. Make no mistake about it. She'll be in the coaches' votes this afternoon post-game. I reckon let's go to a break then, Trent, and we'll be back for the fourth term. Welcome back to the Eastern Football Netball League Deakin University Division 1 match of the day, match of the round. Here at Cornby Reserve, it's North Ringwood and Beaconsfield. North Ringwood have a 29-point lead. John O'Ven and Trent Cullen with you as the storm clouds hover, but I think we'll miss it just, Trent. What do you reckon?
Fingers crossed. It's looking gloomy.
And if I am vindicated, if I am thing, then you guys, a lot of you owe me an apology, because I reckon we'll get through it. And if not, well then I'm standing, out from the undercover. So to be honest, I'll cop the rain instead, as opposed to verbal abuse, perhaps. But anyway, the 5-6-5's done. Umpire raises the ball aloft. Trent Cullen to get us underway in the final term.
So we turn for homie up, Cornby Reserve. Harris contesting the ruck once more. It's palmed down into the path of Lawrence, who can slap it forward, although quick to present there was Rice, the defender for North Ringwood. She delivers to Forbes. Now they can sort it out at ground level. Putting her head in the hole once more was Lawrence. She might have earned a free kick in the process. She has. So
She has indeed.
some reward for her effort at ground level. She bites off the 45 now as they cross the synthetic pitch. It's in the hands of Emery, who can wheel and go and drive a long one into the path of a teammate in Ferguson, although North Ringwood have the numbers through Ridley. And it's a 2-on-2 situation.
Nicely done.
Spinning through there was nicely done. Robinson, or rather Terrell. So now whistle's been blown and advantage has been paid, and it'll land in the lap of Taylor. So first real sighting of her today, making her presence felt in this last term. She's
perfectly positioned Casey Taylor at centre half forward, doing her job quite well.
She surveys the scene ahead. Take her best efforts from 50. She's just going to pop it to a hot spot with a sort of barrel. And then playing the role of crummer was her teammate in best position. Didn't quite pick up a number there, but nonetheless, they popped through North Ringwood's 8th of the day.
That would be the number 33 in Matchich. Fantastic effort.
Matchich
from her.
And the all-important first goal of the last term goes the way of the home side, and that's almost your ball game, Jono.
I reckon so too. It's been a gallant effort from Beaconsfield, and they've been in it all season. But we're going to see what they can do ahead of finals. They might make one of it as play restarts, and well, it's all North Ringwood at the moment. Almost taking the mark there was the intended target off the kick from centre wing. Beaconsfield, though, as we mentioned them, come try and clear it. So Emery, with the hand pass off, advances forward, but it's all North Ringwood at the moment. And as I say that, Lawrence collects it like a thief in the night. It's going right, and it's going to go left in the direction of North Ringwood's goal. Chasing it well and collecting it was Forbes. Did well, sending it to the top of the goal square to the one-on-one contest. Almost took the mark, did her intended teammate. As footy goes to ground, umpire calls play on, but he calls play on once again as the ball's come out. I was going to say it was potentially going to be another ball up. Can we have a similar situation to the previous goal? Don't think so. Another ball up ensues, and collecting it instantly was Matchich by the looks of things after taking the ruck, but she's kicked it out of all yours.
So ground level there was Wilkinson. Her exit kick was affected. Sort of bumped off it. We'll have a stoppage, 40 out from home. Left of screen, the way of North Ringwood, who have taken full toll of the scoring end. Wilkinson getting involved again. And a quick whistle there. Didn't have a hell of a lot of prior.
everybody pretty happy there that Ebony Cooper has won the free kick.
So Cooper now can pop this one to a hot spot. She does exactly that. Forbes has the sit, although standing in front spot there was Hodgenacki.
She's done well. An X factor indeed. So they come out wide, but immediately turning it over to Beaconsfield, and they send it in. North Ringwood. The Saints go marching in, if you will, once again. They'll be singing that, you'd reckon, in about 13 minutes' time. Well, 20, let's be realistic, because they have to get off the ground. So here they come. Taylor's a feature again. Footy goes to ground, and umpire says nothing doing. Just to the right of the goal square. Well, footy goes up. Again in there is Cooper. High up and under kick. Small contest. Not going to be a legal distance, but still they come. But then cut off successfully by Bethany Robinson. And for the Eagles. So she's come through the goalpost, which is technically a behind. And they'll come around here, the Eagles.
So Hodgenacki once more. North Ringwood have the spare in Ridley. She can try and get involved at ground level there. Always just sits a kick behind the footy, doesn't she? She's manned up on this occasion by Emery. It's probably taken them 3/4 to notice that as Hodgenacki gets involved once more. Intercepting deep inside defensive 50. She's got a woman out in Miriglani, and they can go through the corridor now. So centre corridor now. If it sits for Beaconsfield, they're in business. Nothing but green grass ahead for Metcalf. She dumps it into that pocket of space now. Leading the race was the Saint, one of the defenders there. They can try and work it out by hand as the umpire will have it. Centre half forward, the way of Beaconsfield.
So the restart then. Been plenty of ball ups all around the ground. And just like lightning, North Ringwood are going to make something of it, but cleverly cut off there by Sarah McCallum, who sends it back from whence it came. And it might be a bit of aerial ping pong here at the moment. Taking off the kick there by the North Ringwood player. And Lawrence, a bouncing ball inside 50. Metcalf gathers, shoots for goal. And it is just wide by the looks of things, one behind.
I think you'll find she's
it is a
kicked
goal.
her third.
I couldn't see the signal, mate, to be honest. So that is my fault. Apologies for that. Nevertheless, it is a goal.
So
Trent, you just laugh at me and
Metcalf.
That's the don't come Monday moment there, right there.
Metcalf slots her third. We've butchered a couple of her calls, it has to be said, on goal.
Yeah, absolutely, we have. But to be honest, I couldn't see the signal. The umpire, the goal umpire, just walked in.
So Metcalf there, kudos to her. Been lively up forward for Beaconsfield. There's a 6-6-6 whistle's been blown.
5-6-5 that would be, yes.
Rather harshly, it has to be said. They've been lenient throughout the season on that. Nonetheless, Bliss has it. And she can head inside 50. Leading the race there is Emery. She'll have to get on her bike to evade Rice, who wins out in the end. Misses Ridley by hand. And it'll invite the pressure of Martin to go to work at ground level. She gathers cleanly. And then sort of a no-look ball forward will trickle out. And North Ringwood will have to jump the fence and go and collect that one.
Indeed, they will have to. And it's interesting from just on that other goal. Sometimes the goal umpires don't even have the signal because the field umpires just know. And it's like, you know what? It's all good. but not from a commentary perspective. So, sorry again. Ella Rhodes sees it over the boundary line on centre wing, just about 60 from goal for the Beaconsfield side. They might be able to make something of this, the Eagles. As I say that, footy goes to ground. We'll have another ball up. How many ball ups has there been today, Trent, do you reckon?
Oh, the one day I don't count.
You usually count them?
No.
All right. So, there we go. Another ball up. Just on the subject, of course. And rucks are going to go to work once again. And the tap down was the North Ringwood ruck on this occasion. Brilliantly done. In open space, though, becomes a very closed space. Players go to ground. And I don't need to tell you what happens next. Over to you, Trent.
So, I will. The two rucks will go at it again. LaRocca's there in pitch up. Watches her teammate turn tackler on Peacock. So another forward half stoppage away of the away side. They can palm it into the path of Martin, who's quick to get her ball kick forward. There's a fight on at the mouth of goal. There's a Beaconsfield forward was gang tackled and then thrown into the turf, so she might be a bit slow to her feet. Metcalf it was, regains composure and will have another ball up, so a hot chance here for Beaconsfield to pile on a handful of goals. Of course, just adding one to their four already. So it'll be tossed high once more. Harris palms it to the aforementioned Metcalf. And then just sort of, well, her kick forward in the end was rushed through. So another blemish to the Beaconsfield score. North Ringwood 8-7-55 to Beaconsfield 4-3-27.
Thanks, Trent. So, footy's gone out of bounds. Just read the score there, as you can see on the live stream there on the AFNL Facebook and YouTube pages. Having a shot on goal here will be Cassie Martin, but she sends it to the teeth of goal. And umpire blows his whistle, and he will have it. Centers the ball up a bit. Yet another restart. Lots of players at the teeth of goal. Allow North Ringwood to come out with the footy. They do it very well. 2-on-1 contest in favour of Beaconsfield, though. Will get the Eagles the win, but behind play. The umpires paid a free kick against the Eagles. It's going to get in the hands of Lucas, who will send it in the direction of the tent here. Can Beaconsfield just find a way out? No, they can't. Ferguson's wrapped up, and we'll have another ball up.
So 5-minute warning here. Last term. There's Hojnacki trying to pick it up at her feet. She's claimed we'll have another stoppage for Bliss to go to work again. Standing alongside Kaliavu. The ball spills out the way of Ridley now. And getting involved at ground level was Ferguson. She's wrapped up by Bailey. So almost counting down to the final siren here. Bit of a lull in proceedings. Has just been stoppage riddled last term.
Indeed. And besides that, it's been all North Ringwood. Umpire throws the footy up. The number 26 tries to get a kick out, but she's denied. Cooper chasing the footy. She's in and around the contest. She'll gather, but As soon as she does, the umpire blows the whistle, and Beaconsfield are going to get a free kick. Beaconsfield will send it through, but it's all North Ringwood at the moment who have got the defensive numbers, trying to get it out well was that North Ringwood player, but she sends it to open space and over the boundary line, yes. Directly opposite the benches on broadcast side here at Quamby Reserve for the EFNL Deakin University Senior Match of the day. Footy goes up, footy comes down. That number 26 is dispossessed. Still got a kick away, though. Gathering the footy was Martin. Gets it off to a teammate, but footy goes along the ground. Lawrence was there too. And a high free kick is paid for the Eagles. And I thought Lawrence was going to take it, but she is indeed after LaRocca gets the hand pass off.
So inside 50 now, and storming out of there might have been Rhodes. Those bodies just crash in and they pile on top of the footy. It's thrown out the way of Rhodes again. So the 1-2, they link up through her and can rebound out of defensive 50. Harris's kick forward was smothered. She can go to work at ground level now, and they've got the outnumber.
Brilliant.
So they can almost walk this into an open goal. Instead, she's almost butchered it across the face. She burnt her teammate in the process, who was wide open.
That's the hunger for the big sticks, but sometimes you can miss. And Beaconsfield bring it in. Directly in front of us comes the play. They're moving it along quite well, but then the umpire calls play on after the kick wasn't complete. And it's behind the play. Mirigliani copped a high one as McCallum sends one down the line. It's all North Ringwood at the moment into open space, chasing the footies. LaRocca, she'll gather. Well, yes, she will, but she's got a bit of work to do, beating two players in the process. Bouncing ball along the ground. Who can pick it up? It's going to be Beaconsfield on this occasion. Or no, not the pickup. The tap along the ground is just as effective. And down the ground go a few players. One of them was Hodgenacki for the Beaconsfield Eagles. As the footy's sent in North Ringwood's direction, but it's Sarah McCallum to take the grab on centre wing.
So just under 90 seconds left to play out here in this final term as a good mark's been taken. Just landed in the lap of McRae. And she can send them inside 50 once more. Metcalf was the lead, although she was denied by a good mark taken by, might have been Terrell for North Ringwood. Rhodes on the far side now getting involved. She tries to link up by hand with Hum. It might have been Rhodes again. Just paddles it to the advantage of Taylor. She does well, collecting it cleanly back to Rhodes. So one of the ball winners getting involved numerous times on the far wing. There's a quick kick forward now by Harris. Can work out. Wilkinson tried to go off the deck to no avail. There's Harris again, tries to paddle it to her advantage. She's quickly claimed. Set upon and we'll have a ball up.
The time ticks down. 15 seconds on the scoreboard here in the last term. And North Ringwood get the footy. And they're going to register the 4 points in the final round of the home and away season. Go through Smith as the siren sounds. No. Just drops short by about 9 metres, but that is all she wrote. North Ringwood winning convincingly 8-56. Defeating the Beaconsfield Eagles 4-26. Your final thoughts, Trent Callan?
No, you mentioned at three-quarter time, Beaconsfield, they were certainly gallant in defeat, weren't they?
Mm.
They put up a good fight. It was that second term that really hurt them. The home side had all the ascendancy and piled on 6 or 7 in that term.
This game right here, on this ground especially, will be a learning curve for the Eagles, you'd reckon. They just had a lot of good defensive moments out of defence. You know, LaRocca and Lawrence working really hard as they as they pretty much have all season, no doubt, and they've got a lot to show
Yep.
in this final series, and North Ringwood winning convincingly, as perhaps the punters would have expected. And
It was probably an early cash out in there somewhere as well. But no,
I would say something there, but I'm not going to say it. Just
have you got votes for us, or just run across that team sheet? Who jumps out there for you?
So let's go the votes. I reckon. Well, yeah, Ridley described as an X factor. She had some great moments today, but I reckon go one up. Cooper's been really good late, so she'll get one vote from me. Sarah Hum copped a bit of a beating early on in the game, and she still managed to make something of it. But I reckon it's a bit of a tough one. I reckon, yeah, let's give Hum the 2 votes. And for mine, that's a tough one. I reckon we'll give, just based on what she's done, I reckon let's say another X Factor in Ella Rhodes getting the 3.
Yep. I'm probably heading down a similar path. I think it's probably unfair to attach a 3-2-1 sort of system. I think North Ringwood was just a complete team performance.
Indeed, yeah.
So the likes of Carly Smith, Ella Rhodes getting involved. Carly Forbes had her moments down forward.
Yep.
She might have had 2 to her name. And then probably from a Beaconsfield point of view, I think kudos has to go to Metcalf. I think she had 3 alongside her name. The forward connection with as well, straight the half back, certainly worked well on that occasion. So
now, you guys can't see this off camera, but one of the neatest things in footy has ever happened, which I'm not going to describe, at the behest of Trent Cowan, of course. But now, what what a day it's been and it's going to be. And I have to say, the rain has missed us. We're all right.
he's I tell you what, he's doubled down on his jinx. It may still well return.
It may still well return in your game, I would say, perhaps. But there you go, cop that. No, look, it's been a good game, I reckon. The scoreboard probably not so much a reflection of the contest today, but that just about wraps things up, doesn't it, Trent?
No, it's a good summation there. So thanks for your company, listeners, and of course Jono alongside me here, calling his first women's match of the round. So can't fault you, mate.
Best of luck this afternoon.
I'll need it, I'll tell you what.
And well, you can watch the highlights thanks to Sportscast Australia. But of course, don't forget, there is obviously finals next week, so get to that. But of course, you can listen to a variety of podcasts. One of them, of course, is the Women's Footy Focus on Spotify and wherever you get your podcasts. But Trent Cowan's throwing the headset off, and so will I. Let's wrap things up here at Quambie Reserve. North Ringwood winning convincingly. I've been John O'Van. He's been Trent Cowan. It's bye for now.